This is really powerful. One of the most interesting parts of modern physics, by the way, I am neither a physicist, a chemist, an alchemist, nor any of that. I am Pastor Chris. Right? Yeah. So don't listen to me like you're listening to a science professor, because I'm not. One of the major fundamentals on which modern physics is based is what they call the wave-particle duality. Let me explain a little bit. It is the confusion as to whether subatomic particles, if they should be called particles, electrons, photons, whether they are waves or particles, because of a mysterious result in their experiments. These experiments have been performed again and again and again and again through many years. The results were the same. What happened was they demonstrated with the electron and found out it had waves characteristics when you were not looking. Follow this. If you weren't looking at it, it produced characteristics of waves. Meaning that if you were not looking at the electron, if the observer, the one who carried out the experiment, or the detector that was used, if it wasn't looking at the electron, it produced waves. Characteristics of waves. So they said that means the electron is a wave. But then, the moment you turned to look at it, it seemed to know you were looking. And before you could see it, it was a particle. How could it produce such patterns and characteristics of waves? And then when you tried to measure it, turn to it to measure it, it turned into a particle. How could it be that intelligent? The scripture's telling us something. How is it that you look at these things from which physical materials came to be? How could their very basic fundamental elements not be matter at once? That means they materialize and dematerialize depending on who's looking. Now, that's something very interesting. So, if it's a wave, it's got energy. Can you see it? If it's a wave, it's got energy. And energy, and it's not matter. So it's not a particle. If it's a particle, then they say, that means it's not a wave. It's one of both. But it turns out to be both. So it's the most mind-blowing experiment that they've carried out for so many years now, and they have no explanation for it, but all the explanation is in the Bible. All the explanation is in the book. It's so simple. Think about it. When you're not looking, it's energy. When you turn to see it, it's matter. Faith, go back to verse 1. I want you to see it. Now, faith is the substance of things in hope. While you are not looking with your eyes, are you still there? And it's inside the eyes of your spirit. It's substance. It's inside. In what form? Word form. Is in the Word of God. Because faith comes by hearing. Hearing by the Word of God. Romans chapter 10 verse 17. Faith comes. Faith comes to your heart. And faith builds the picture of faith. And faith is the substance of my hope. It is a substance. It's got energy. It's based on the Word of God. Are you hearing this? Because the Word of God is sound. He spoke and creation came to be. Sound waves. Where the energy is. Can you see that? So if they want to understand this stuff, they need to get out of New Age, get out of all that stuff, and get to the Bible. The book explains it all.